only has
One. And we're there.
hello, and welcome to Lunch with the Boys. My name is Cody Anderson, and I am joined by my co-host.
I was wondering if you were teeing it up for me because while we only have two cameras on here, this marks the start of a new era of the Good Rep Pod. We're not just joined by Jordan.
Oh yeah. I'm almost here. Oh, and goodness, we already have someone in there on Lunch with the Boys. Yes. But a nice little introduction here. We've got Melanie joining us as a little producer to be able to help us out and maybe keep us on track. Melanie, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Super happy to be here and excited to join you guys today.
Awesome. We're
Oh
excited.
yeah, and it should be good. Honestly, Jordan, I think we need it. We're not very good at staying on topic, and it might be useful to have someone Google things that isn't me while I'm sitting here and trying to fill the space.
I've been a strong believer the whole time that that's part of our charm. That's who we are. You know, that's just kind of how we function.
We're the ones learning it as we go along, which
Exactly.
we're adding this in, and we're doing a little bit of a new thing as well. We're using OBS. You might have seen it with the original intro, and we've got a little bit different of a background here.
Yeah,
It looks good.
background's a little bit changed up. We have some things kind of moved around. I'm really waiting to hear. I feel like Emily would have already said in the comments there if we were having any echo issues. That's been my biggest concern, was making sure the audio is working right. Emily, can you confirm? Does everything sound good? We probably won't hear from. So Riverside, I think, is much less delayed than OBS is, though. I think we're not going to see like what we're saying right now on YouTube until like 5 or 6 seconds later.
Jordan, you're pretty quiet. Oh, immediately. You were talking about it, and you get that immediate feedback.
me
I do
being
think it's
quiet's one
probably. I'm curious how much the delay is. It can't be too bad, but it's definitely a little bit of a delay. Regardless, as we get into it, as we're figuring out all of these different sound issues, I think Jordan's probably going to be messing with that, which, when you fix it, feel free to cut in with your voice. If anything is quintessentially us, it's the beginning of the pod being you and I going back and forth and testing things out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just like, I'm so terrified of accidentally unplugging my microphone. But then again, we're not on Riverside anymore, so that may not be the same level of issue as it was last time that happened. Yeah, okay, so I moved my mic. It's a little closer to my face. I think that may help. Cody, are you noticing any difference in my voice?
I'm not noticing too much of a difference, but you're coming through really clear. I know for those of us watching and who don't know how sound and all of this works, Jordan spent yesterday setting up OBS as we ran into Riverside issues. If you missed out on the Joey Matterhorn podcast, we are so sorry. Join us next week for that. We're going to be rehashing it. It's going to be a great episode. But we were figuring out OBS. And you went through how many different sound and audio programs to try to figure out these audio issues?
Four or five. 4 or 5 in
Oh
total.
my goodness.
Like ultimately the solution ended up being let the Discord crisp do the work and then just steal all the audio coming from the Discord, like the call, and then just using that audio. But then like the issue came where it's still like my mic will pick up the audio coming, so that's what the crisp kind of did. The AI noise suppression there kind of kicks out any background noise that the speakers maybe pick up. So that's really useful because I was going to lose my mind.
Hearing the echo is honestly enough to drive you insane. And when you're talking and you can hear that little bit of echo in the other person's mic, it brings me immediately back to being 16 and playing Call of Duty lobbies or joining League of Legends voice chats on TeamSpeak.
Someone out there with their Xbox Connect mic.
Yes.
Yeah, what are we talking about? Melanie, get us together here. What are we talking about?
I was waiting for Cody to finish the sentence and say we should get into the topic soon.
And get into the topic, which, hey, so with that, 100%, we're bringing it back in. Deep breath. We're changing the vibe, changing the atmosphere here. We actually wanted to talk about marketing tools, budgets, how much you should be spending on different marketing tools, and maybe talk a little bit about the benefits of using marketing companies when you start looking at the costs of all these different types of tools. There's a lot more that goes into just the cost of a new tool, using a tool, being able to get all that you can out of tools is really important. But I kind of wanted to open this up because we use a bunch of different plugins. We use a bunch of different, I keep saying the word tools. I'm trying to think of a different way to say software product. But we use a bunch of different ones, and I kind of wanted to dive into why, how, and the evolution of what we used.
What was that, Melanie?
I see like different platforms that kind of help with like managing projects and just making sure everything's kind of like organized.
So when Cody was going through all of those things, like the term that kept coming up in my mind, because it's my main expense, is plugins. Like from the web develop, I think everybody in every different space kind of has a different way of like wording it or viewing it. For me, I do web design. I'm on the computer constantly, and WordPress plugins are my expense that I think of. Yeah,
and to be clear, what you mean with a plugin is something added to your website to get a specific function. So one of the biggest plugins that we use is Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms is a form making plugin for WordPress where you can go in and basically customize a form to do whatever you want. The plugin allows you to do a whole bunch of customizable stuff. I think, Jordan, you can probably describe that a little bit better than me, but that's the main one. That's our biggest plugin outside of, does Divi? Divi's not a plugin, right?
Divi is not a plugin. It's technically a theme. Kind of like the builder almost acts as a plugin. I know we've had old developers in the past kind of get on that where it's like, it's not a plugin, and they'd be very particular about that. Whatever, it functions essentially the same as a plugin would. It's not like it's a theme that overdoes everything. It just kind of adds a builder to the website. So it's a plugin in my eyes. So
with that said, just kind of going through, I want to keep almost like a running list, and Mel, maybe you can do this for us, of how much we're spending on these things. So Divi is not a plugin, it's just a theme. How much are we spending on Divi a year?
Wait, are we asking me that? Am I diving in?
Yeah, I'm asking you that. You got that? Do you got that number offhand? I know it's a couple $100 at least. I want to say it's like 500.
I think I have a document. Mel, do you have access to the GoodRep Gmail?
Yes, I do. I'll go into that right now.
Can you jump into that? You don't have to jump into the Gmail itself. Just jump into the account and go to the sheets, and you'll see like our maintenance tracker sheet.
Yeah, give me one.
While we hunt these things down.
Yeah, like little things we're learning, like for future reference, maybe we'll like kind of have a checklist of things that she can have open as references to like quickly be like, okay, jump to that sheet. What does that say?
Yeah, well, and it's one of those things where we're trying out this new setup. We're also trying out new scripts. We're trying out a new conversation pattern. And more than anything else, I think half of the value of listening to the Good Rep Media podcast is, oddly enough, getting to watch people figure out how to do a podcast and talk and look at a camera and try out different things.
It's learning with us. And I think there's a lot of value to that, and a lot of enjoyment comes from that.
Watching us struggle through these things.
What's that, Mel? Are we
Except
there?
I don't know how to read it. I pulled up the tracker, but I'm not too sure how to read it. I don't see any numbers on there, just like
all the way at the bottom. There should be one that has the. I don't even know for certain that it has the prices on it. I'm just thinking it might. At the bottom, there should be like a tab that has like the plugins being used.
Oh, wait. There it is, plugin list. It doesn't have prices on it.
Well,
it just says
we tried.
Yeah,
we tried.
I think, I want to say so we won't get into the direct prices, but I can give rough estimates because I generally keep track of all of these things in our finances on the back end. But I do know, so Divi is the theme, is a couple $100. If you are a small business owner and you're looking at making a website, there are a lot of different free builders out there. There are definitely a lot of free, like you can WordPress theme and get something free there. The issue comes with customizability and then plugins, because as soon as you start wanting to do anything with your site other than display information, you're going to need plugins. You're going to need something a little bit extra on top of that.
I will say this.
That being said, there's a lot of different page builders out there. Yes. Jordan, how many different ones have you experienced in? We use Divi, obviously that's the best and our favorite, but
so a lot of contradicting people out there will say Divi actually is not the best. I think a lot of people don't love it, but it's just kind of what I learned, and I'm a creature of habit, and we do pretty well with it, and it doesn't seem to be an issue for us, so that's what we stick with. Now, I've worked with Elementor. I haven't really played too much with I forget what it's called, what Eric uses. Eric uses like a program it's like not browser based. He doesn't build on a browser. He like builds in this program and then is able to like export from there and import it over. I forget what it's called, but I played with it for like a day. It was kind of cool. I've played around with our page builders, from Apex at its early stages to Lander Page now. I've played around a little bit with those and played with building pages. I will say Divi so far, like I said, for me, it just makes the most sense. It clicks, it's easiest, and I can work through it faster than all the other ones. I played around with Divi 5 literally yesterday. Doesn't seem like it's quite where I want that to be. That kind of ingrains with the WordPress block builder, which is like the inbuilt WordPress builder, which I've heard great things about. So I am very open to Divi 5. I just want it to kind of come along a little further first.
So then you went through all of those real rapid fire. When you talk about the different page builders, what are the pros and cons when you get into them versus something else? So you talk about people not liking Divi. I know that when you say that, you're talking about the fact that Divi is very heavy. It's very resource intensive. So when you build a Divi website, it can take a while for it to load, and load times factor pretty heavily into how Google will rank your website.
Yeah.
Now for local, I think that's a little less of a factor because local signals are a lot stronger than technical signals. But if you're creating something like an online college's website, Divi might not be your best choice as opposed to using something like a Gutenberg WordPress or an Elementor or Drupal or Go High Level or something like that. Yeah. But when you're doing local, I think we get a lot more customization and a lot more really cool graphics, logos, colors, and like basically customizability is what Divi gives us, right?
Yeah. It's funny. I think real quick, I just want to say this, like side note, customizability is the word. Like, I don't know if that's a real word. You've said it twice now. That has stumped me 2 different times on this podcast where I have tried to say that word and been like, that ain't right. And then we stop for a couple seconds. So I'm internally laughing. I wanted
just to clarify. I looked it up. It's a real word.
Oh, hey, okay. Awesome.
This is the point.
That's why we have you, Mel. Yes. Love it.
Just to clarify, it's in the dictionary.
This is a genuinely exciting moment to me right now.
It's in the Merriam-Webster, man. We've made it.
Oh, that's exciting. But so what I wanted to say, tying this kind of back to the topic with like the tools and budgets, Divi, it may be a little heavy and stuff, but there are ways to kind of counteract that. But then that does play into the budget a little bit. We have a plugin that we use with it that does image optimization. One of the reasons we use that more than just like squishing like the JPEGs into WebPs and stuff like that to make them smaller and load faster, is it can literally go into the Divi assets and kind of crunch down some of the size of the Divi assets to help those speeds run a little quicker. That's like an additional, I think we spend like, I don't know, like maybe like, I think it's like $18 a month or something on that, you know, but every time we build a new site, every time we make a new page, I run it through that, you know?
Yeah. And I think it's worth noting that this is where page builders get you. Where if you are going to need WordPress, it is free, but there is a lot of paid service on top of it, and you will be nickel and dimed for everything that you need. So when I talk about we're using Divi, we pay monthly for Divi, we pay monthly for an added theme on top of Divi. We get specialized themes and what are they called when we have added modules on Divi? Is it you're paying for new modules or new abilities?
Modules is exactly correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think of it like scrolling text on websites. You would pay for that specific module to get scrolling text.
Yeah.
Could you customize that HTML yourself in order for that to occur? Yeah. 100%. And with AI, I think a lot of that is a lot easier. But I don't think we've been using AI too much in a lot of what we use. We've used some of the AI page builder stuff, but we've not had much success.
More on the back end. We use a lot more of it on the back end for, you know, metadata purposes, schema generation, things like that. We've been using it for. Now, the schema generation has been something that's been recent. I've only recently learned how that works, although I've seen a lot of growth from doing it. Yeah,
and how AI interacts with it specifically.
Sometimes also I might take like the logo over to ChatGPT if like Emily's really busy or something, and I will be like, hey, I need a favicon for this site. Can you take this image and just make me a little favicon that I can put up there?
I will say I think that's one of the more useful things that we're able to do with AI these days is some quick and easy editing. So if you are a small business owner and you're wanting to make a favicon for your website, which if you're new and you're a small business owner, I would hard argue that like 5% of people might know what favicon means.
Yeah.
Do you think that's did you know what favicon meant before this job?
No, I didn't even know what favicon meant until like weeks or months into this job. Like if you'd have said the little tab icon, I'd have known what you were talking about. But like, yeah, I wouldn't have known that was called a favicon until I think you were the one who told me that.
I love vocabulary. For those of you who don't know,
what's that?
Yeah,
I didn't hear.
I just learned what it meant as we're talking about it because I did not know that's what it was called.
I just sent messages about it for you to add it to the SOP 2 days ago or like last workday.
Oh, that's funny.
There's in the site identity stuff.
I have it in my drafts, but I don't think I fully read into it.
No worries.
Heck yeah. But so for those of you who don't know, a favicon on your tabs when you're opening like a new website is that little image that kind of tells you what it is. A lot of people know the Facebook F. It's the app icon on your phone. Instagram, when it updated from its old one to the new one, everyone freaked out. Every time people update to a rainbow version, everyone's scared the sky is falling, that type of thing. But with that said, the page building and how to get your actual website put together, there's a lot of different ways to do it. There are free ways. The free ways require a lot more setup on your end and will inevitably end up costing you some type of money in order for you to get any type of functionality. I think one of the biggest ones that I wanted to get into in what I was originally starting off with is the form builder. We do a lot more with our forms than a lot of people do, but I think forms are extremely important. So, would you say that Gravity Forms is one of the best ones? Have we used other form builders?
Yeah. So we've played around a little bit with like the inbuilt WordPress form. And then we've played around a little bit with, I don't remember what other one. I know there was a bit there where Eric was tossing around the idea of kind of having like Lander page also function as embeddable forms. I know that was a thought for a bit, but I don't think that ever got off the ground. Really, the only one that I've played around with a lot has been Gravity Forms. And the main reason being is it's kind of, again, and this is kind of going back to like what we were saying, where like we use Divi, which leads to a few other expenses. Gravity Forms has like really good integration with Divi that allows us to customize every aspect of like its aesthetics, whereas we find with a lot of other form builders you kind of get a little limited on like the customizability.
Customizability, hey, we're here for that.
Yeah. And so like that adds a little extra expense to it, but it's that expense that we think adds a value that offsets the expense. You know, we get more than we give. Exactly.
And it's worth noting, and I maybe should have set the scene a little bit better with all of this when we first got started. When you are diving in and using marketing tools, software, when you're looking at different form builders, it's really easy to pay $10 or $20 for 18 different services and then forget how many services you're all paying for. So definitely go in. You need to check all of these boxes. I think personally, looking at all of our notes and going in for this conversation made me realize we probably need to audit a lot of what we're using. So I'm thinking of how we use a lot of different local tools, and we're using one called Local Brand Manager, but almost all of its capability is duplicated by SEMrush. And the only benefit is that it allows multi-location. But we don't have any multi-location clients yet.
Yeah.
So
something to think about.
We're in a weird spot.
Yeah, something to think about.
Exactly. And so I'm like, maybe we need to cancel that. Maybe it's something that we need to look into when we actually expand. But I remember the first reason that we originally wanted to use this program was to have multi-location capability for one of our clients who was looking to expand, lawn care company. And we just haven't yet. They haven't pulled the trigger. And so we're just kind of sitting here on it. And it's recurring. So I'm like, not a big expense, but something to be aware of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just sitting here like waiting to hear like what of my expenses is about to be on this shopping.
You're waiting for me to call out?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to be like, oh, we probably don't need that image optimizer.
And he wanted a plugin for... Which one am I going to do? Which one should I pull out? Reviews? Should I do the Google review? He found a $10 plugin for Google reviews for one of the sites and was like, it's only $10 a month. We can bake it in.
Every single plugin that I have ever gone and got was a solution to a problem that was created by a manager. All right, it was not something that I was like, hey, this would just be better with it. It was a manager of some type, be it the big boss upstairs, be it you, be it anybody else who like was kind of directing what we were doing.
Is like, God giving you directions?
He thinks he is.
But, okay, that was too good.
But no, like every time I've done that, it's been like, hey, we want it to have this functionality. Well, it's like, okay, well, like, yeah, maybe I could sit there and code that, but that's not what I do. I'm not a developer. I'm a designer, you know? So it was like, okay, I'm just going to go get a plugin for this because the plugin probably costs less. Like a year of this plugin probably costs less than the hours it would take for me to figure out how to get this to work. You know, like maybe it's but then you have it. So I don't know. You know, there's a SWOT analysis to be had there.
Yeah, and I do think it's an interesting cost benefit analysis to talk about because specifically with Gravity Forms, we use a lot of different customization for it. But one of the things that we wanted to do, and one of the reasons we stick with Gravity Forms, is because we've built custom code on top of it that allows us to send Gravity Form fills to our own CRM. Yes. So we have our own customer management system, our own we have our own HubSpot basically, where we collect all of our leads, collect all of our data, and we open this up for our clients. And we built a custom plugin for Gravity Forms to send leads into our CRM. And that's really cool. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to build that. We needed to build that. Better than building just a full form plugin for ourselves. I do think we are still building a form plugin though, as part of Lander Page.
Yeah, like I said, I just know it hasn't been like off the ground yet. I don't know if it's like main prio with the project, so I didn't want to like on live internet like say that if I didn't know for certain.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, I'm not 100% sure. But with that said, getting to the basics of it, if you're a small business owner and you are, hey, where do you start? What are the first things that you want to get going on a brand new website? I think you start with a bunch of free tools and you utilize all of the free tools to figure out what you actually need. Yeah, I don't think you should be paying for anything up front unless you're looking at getting something like a paid for website.
Yeah. And I think
the one.
Go ahead.
Go.
Oh no! Like if you were continuing on a thought, don't let me say what I'm about to say.
Oh no! I'm just kind of thinking about small businesses because I'm like, a small business should start with their Google Business Profile, start with their website, and if you're going to build out a website, you should start with a free theme.
Yes.
But it's a lot of setup work. There is a lot of time and energy that gets spent even using the basic and the free tools.
Yeah, I mean. There's a lot of ways to kind of do things for free, and it might not turn out exactly how you want, but like you can also find ways to like maybe save a little bit. Like if you spend money, there may be ways to kind of cut back and save. I've started not using what Divi calls like their child themes, which are like importable themes, and now I just kind of dig through. They have like hundreds of different like importable themes just on their like free library that you can go through, and that's where I've been getting most things that I've been building from, because it's like we don't need to go spend $30 to get Avanti or whatever child themes and put those up when we can just go grab a free one. It really is kind of knowing where to look and how to look for it can go a long way in saving you some money.
Well, and I think that's something that we should maybe nail down a little bit harder. Spending the time to figure out what tools you want or what tools you need is probably smarter than spending time like diving into the first tool that you see. So I know when we first started looking at like, what was it, live streaming, we had the owner of the company basically say, hey, we're going to live stream, what should we use? And someone mentioned Riverside, and then we signed up and that's what we used, and we've never looked at anything else other than Riverside as streaming. We did talk about like OBS because OBS is free and we were able to kind of figure it out, and that's what we've actually swapped to, and it's been super cool for us to be able to swap over to that. But I do wonder if there's something better than Riverside out there for streaming, if there are other options. It's just not something that we ever took the time to do. And with the most recent struggles that we've had and a couple of the difficulties, them deleting our studio and like messing up with the billing and blah, 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 it makes me wonder if there were other options out there that we possibly should have explored.
So I think overall, I think OBS is a better solution than Riverside is. I think there's more capabilities, and I think overall we're going to get a better final product out of it. So I will say this. I think one of the limiting things was we had to keep constantly going live. We were trying to be so consistent. We want to go live every single week that we didn't have the time to be like, hey, let's put it on pause and figure out OBS. Then we ran into this issue that we just ran into with Riverside where we didn't have a choice but to take a day off of it. And then I was like, okay, we have the day off. Let me take this time now to figure out OBS and get it all set up. So it maybe was a bit of an issue, but it could also be a very serendipitous blessing, a fortunate accident.
Yeah. I don't disagree. And now that you mention that, I'm looking at it and seeing it as much more of like a pair. Like you and I are a pair doing this, because I am the one who is constantly pushing and being like, hey, we're not going to take a day off. We're going to make it work. Let's make it happen. And you're the one on the other side of the coin who's like, no, we should take a day off so that we can fix some stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that dichotomy is probably good.
Yeah. No,
because one, it makes us stay here and keep uploading regardless of whatever else is going on. There's not going to be off weeks, and when there is off weeks, take full advantage of them, and when that something does come up, you're able to take advantage of them instead of, I was sitting here during that hour like, oh, we're not live. I was upset.
I know. I was like, here we go, now's my opportunity.
I will say you immediately dove in and were like, I'm going to figure out OBS. I wasn't. I was like, this sucks. I'm sending in 3 tickets to Riverside and setting up a call. And
what really sucked is I felt bad at the end of the day because I was like, oh, cool. That means I have this hour I need to figure out OBS. And then it was 7 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I think I got it figured out.
Which I always knew it was going to be a long process in order to figure out OBS. And I think that's something that anyone listening can take and bring into their heart and understand and know. It's going to take you longer than you think. Learning new software products, trying to do something new, be willing and ready to spend some extra time on that, and be ready to struggle, for lack of a better word.
I will say this. If I could just do headphones, if I had Bluetooth capability, which for $8 I can add Bluetooth capability to my computer, I could just wear headphones, and then I wouldn't have the echo issue, and then I would have had this set up in 2 hours.
Well, and the thing is, I want to be upfront, because I think if we could have figured out the Video Ninja stuff using different URL for audio inputs into OBS, I think that would have done it as well. But I think the Discord call stuff is a little bit more difficult, because I remember trying to set it up with Discord before. It was a big headache.
So again,
you solving it.
I've kind of explained a little bit of why that doesn't. I mean, I don't know, because I didn't dive into it, but it needs to have like that noise suppression built into it, like the Crisp does through Discord. Because even through that, I would still be running into the issue where my mic is picking up your audio, and then it would be picking you up twice every time you talk.
Yeah, which is just it's the microphone stuff too, because I swear, and I think you have a nicer microphone than I do, so I'm surprised that my microphone doesn't pick up the extra sounds.
I don't know. It's an Audio Technica that my friend gave me. Like it is like a kind of like nice little broadcasty mic, but it's nothing crazy, That's all it is.
Yeah, well, no. I don't think it's anything crazy, but I think your sound quality is at least a little bit better than mine. I mean, I'll be real. My microphone's not the nicest thing in the world. It is like it's a $50 Fifine or whatever, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything about this. I was given it, so.
I mean, hey, it works.
What was that?
Sorry, I have a quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
In terms of like talking about like marketing tools and being a small business and starting up, how do you balance cost versus value between choosing free tools and paid versions? Like, how do you know when it's time to kind of move on from that and move on to something different, especially like what we've been doing with like the podcast and figuring out what works, what doesn't? How would you kind of go about that?
I think being able to figure out what the actual problems are, and a really good example is we're starting with OBS, right? And we were using Riverside previously, which had all of our uploaded clips. We record all of our video using Riverside, and that would be streamed from Riverside to YouTube. We would then take that video from Riverside and download it and upload it into Opus. Opus is a clip making software and allows us to basically upload a whole bunch of clips. Now that we're not going to be using Riverside, we're not going to be downloading, we're going to be using OBS, which creates a file directly on your device. So we're going to be figuring out where are we going to put that file. The device that it's being downloaded on is Jordan's. Sam is the one who generally handles all of the like uploads and all of that. So right now we're in a weird limbo spot where we don't know exactly how this is going to do. We have different options. There's a bunch of different ways to solve this problem. There's option A, which is, okay, Jordan, record your video to your device, upload it to a Google Drive, and then Sam can grab it, and hopefully from when he grabs it from the Google Drive, he can put it into Opus, and the clips are great. And then we have no degradation of quality. 2, Opus has the ability to take a YouTube video, like link clip, and then clip from that like URL. So maybe that's good enough, but maybe we're losing a lot of quality in our clips there and we don't want to do that. 3, maybe there's a paid solution in OBS that actually sends it directly to Opus. Maybe that's something that we can clip ourselves to automatically send it to Opus. Maybe it's something that we can, code, make, vibe code in ChatGPT, something like that to solve. So we have these 3 different options that we can kind of pursue. With those three options, I think we step back and we're like, hey, third one's going to cost the most. First one might take a little bit of extra time and a little extra work. Let's see how bad the quality is lost using option 2. I think we hit the lowest hanging fruit first in this instance, and then we try the next one and the next one down.
So are you saying I wasn't supposed to be recording this one right now?
Oh, no. We're recording this one because we want to be able to see the quality of the actual recording.
Okay, well,
we've already done the YouTube video.
I'm looking down at the bottom corner and it doesn't look like it started recording. We'll get it on the next one. We'll get it on the next one.
Maybe not.
I know what I have to do, and I thought I had done it, but I think all I did was transition us from like the live starting soon to this, and then I forgot to click the record button at the start there. Baby steps. We're going to learn from these mistakes.
Baby steps. Hey, so
we're getting there.
Exactly. That's a lesson learned. And more than anything else, and I want to be clear, my smile here is genuine because it is very much like oh, hell yeah. You noticed that something was not correct. You know the solve for it, and we can do it next time. Yep. And that's more than anything else. If you're learning a software product, if you're using new tools, try it out and figure out if you're going to continue using it or if you're going to do something different next time.
And I would like to just like time in a very short little, because I didn't really give any answer to Melanie's.
Sorry, I went way off.
Like Cody did a great job of like the unseen kind of like, this is like what's going to happen that triggers you to kind of move on to something new. I want to also like say that sometimes just necessity will force it. There, like, granted, that's probably not what you want most of the time, but sometimes that will be the case.
Yeah, and how do you guys think like a business owner or a smaller company can properly like budget for these necessities or like changing between marketing tools?
Yeah, so personally, I think you should hire a marketing team like us for cheap, because all of the tools that you're going to need and hiring a full-time employee to do your marketing is going to suck. Then again, it depends on how hard you go on your marketing.
And there's a lot to learn with it too, because there's so many things that come with it. And obviously sometimes mistakes happen or things don't work. So it's nice to have somebody who can kind of dive into all of it at once.
Well, and knows what to point out to you. So we mentioned a lot of different tools like form builders, page builders, and CMS, bridges, APIs, texting software, SMS software, email software. There's a lot of different tools out there that you can use. And that's without even getting into Yoast, SEMrush Writing Assistant, Search Console, Analytics, and all of these other plugins and extra just analytics and tools that you're going to want on your site. If you're a massage therapist or you own a lawn care company, you're not going to know all of that. So hopefully you're listening here and get all of this. Or 2, you can hire Jordan and I, and we'll do it for you.
I'm realizing that I don't have I need to add a scene that I can click that will make the good rep link come up at the bottom, because we're going to be severely missing being able to point down at it and stuff like that, and it bums me out a little bit. I know exactly how to fix it. I know exactly what I'm going to do. It's going to be awesome, but I got to get
another one of those.
Yeah.
Well, heck yeah. And with that said, do you have any tips for him, Jordan?
Oh gosh, what was the question?
Repeat the question. Called it.
It was how would you budget for it? If you're a smaller company or just starting off.
I would be documenting everything. Shame on Cody for not having a master sheet of every expense that we have as Good Rep Media.
It's worth noting. I do. I'm just not going to reference it while we're live, and I can't share it because it also has a bunch of other information on it.
Okay. Well, earlier you made it sound like you needed to compile that information.
I don't have all of the $10 expenses. I'll be real, because we do have a couple of $10 to $20 recurring payments, such as Canva Pro. We have
Shutterstock,
a random Adobe subscription that I think we use. We have
it's worth noting though, not all of those those are expenses that would exist even if Good Rep wasn't there. Some of those are expenses that are trickled down from our parent company. So those I don't think need to be on your expense list because they were going to be paid for anyways.
Yeah, some of the smaller ones like Elf Site should probably be on there, but those are
Yeah.
the ones that come through and are used as part of like a specifically for a client site, and they have
Yeah.
a little surcharge on there for that plugin.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So
And so that is one way, to add that in to kind of account and kind of cover the budgets that you have to put towards expenses. If you're working with clients and those expenses are going towards them, that can be on the bill. Put that on the invoice. Hey, this is costing us $20, so it's going to cost you $25, because we have to figure out how to make it work.
well, and the immediate comparison is like I think of our massage therapist client, and he's like, I want these add-ons that we use, like essential oils. It's a finite resource that he's using up. When he uses the essential oils, they're gone, so he has to charge for them. But he wants to use other things like cupping or like hot towels or anything like that, where it's a little bit easier and reusable as opposed to a finite resource.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great example.
I will say, if you are a single person, you are one person, you own your business, you provide your service, and there's no one else, the first person you hire is probably not going to be a marketing person. You're not going to hire one marketing person to be marketing for your team. You're going to want to hire an agency that's able to actually help you out, because we have access to a lot of tools all at once. So instead of listening to us talk about, hey, SEMrush, Gravity Forms, Divi, these plugins, all of these different extras, you get to, hey, I'm going to pay this company a flat amount. They're going to make my site and do all of this plugins and extra stuff for me. And I think that's one of the most useful things that you can do when you're a small business. Now, when you start getting up there and you're like 10, 20, 30 people in your small business, if you have a lawn care company with multiple locations, maybe you do hire a marketing person. And that person's job is to come up with your marketing materials and your marketing campaigns and your promotions and manage your social media. And at that point, you're looking at, hiring a person for $1,000 a week, which is a lot more than you'd be paying for a marketing agency and a lot more than you're paying for any tools. So
Yeah.
there's an evolution there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Now,
Where are we at?
when you're struggling, if you're a business and you are, I think of one of our musicians. So we actually recently started helping out one of our musician clients, building a new website for him, and looking at kind of his expenses and what he's paying for. It's easy to see that he's kind of been taken advantage of a few different times, where he's paid a couple of hundreds of dollars for marketing efforts that don't result in anything and don't actually do anything for him. In those situations, if you're a small business owner and you're looking to pay someone to do a service for you, such as build a website, you're looking to hire a digital marketing team, you need to go into it with an idea of understanding what you're getting out of it. What is your benefit? What are they providing you? And is what they're providing you worth what they're paying? And I think that's one of the bigger issues these days is marketing companies and marketing individuals going out there and not necessarily scamming people, but hugely overselling their abilities.
Well, it's tough, and like this is obviously what you're saying, just kind of repeating it in different words here. Like these clients, they don't know enough to be able to dispute it. It's funny. I think about like the "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" meme, where like Charlie's like burning all the trash in the bar, and like they're like, "Bro, you can't do that." And he's like, "Listen, I can either take it to a landfill where it's gonna sit for 1,000 years, or I can burn it all up so that smoke can go all up in the air and turn into stars." And they're like, I want to dispute that, but I don't know enough about stars.
I don't know enough about stars. Oh my goodness. I don't think it turns into stars. But
No, of course it doesn't. But like, could you say that for 100% certainty? But no, but like, yeah, like of course, like the marketer is always going to have the upper hand in these situations because they're coming from a place of knowledge where the other people are not. And so like you're going to want to listen to that person who sounds like they know things. I think one of the greatest strengths you can have as a marketer is confidence. Like, it doesn't, you don't have to be right. You don't have to be knowledgeable. You just have to sound like you are, and I think that people will eat it up. And now, am I saying that's a good thing? No, but I am saying that it's probably true, and
I think that speaks to more than just being a marketer. I think it speaks to the whole principle of, if you walk around with a clipboard and business casual outfit, you can pretty much walk wherever you want. You've heard that,
yeah,
like meme or whatever it is, right?
Like,
I think if you're walking around with confidence and you are talking with confidence, there's a lot of doors that open for you.
Have you ever seen the TikTok of people doing that with a ladder? Like, they're like, if you take a ladder somewhere, people like somewhere where a ladder like shouldn't be, someone thinks you're going to do something with that ladder, and so like you're supposed to be there. And like they walked into like a business, like a whole business, just walked around the whole place carrying a ladder, and then just left.
Yeah, I've seen them do the same thing at like concerts. They'll walk up to like the concert with like a ladder or whatever, and they just get let backstage.
Yep.
100%. As soon as you walk around with confidence, and it's worth noting, when you have that confidence, authenticity is what you need to start looking at. Confidence is good. You want someone who's confident to be helping you out, but also half the reason we're here and half the reason we're doing this is authenticity. If someone's going to hire us, there's however much hundreds of hours of content of us out here at this point, just talking about marketing, talking about our experience, talking about how we help people and what we do. And I think that authenticity is what will set us apart, will set people apart in general. And when you're hiring someone for marketing, if you can't see their face, you probably should not be paying them money.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion.
Hey, a good sign to know if you should work with a marketing company is search them. See what shows up, because if nothing good shows up when you look them up, why would you think that something good will show up when you search, or like when they work for you and do it for you?
Yeah.
Like, nobody will ever do a better job for you than they do for themselves.
Yep. And well,
I shouldn't say nobody.
I'm trying to.
I don't think in the marketing environment that would be the case. I can't imagine that would ever be the case.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to be a marketing company, you're going to take pride in the site that you make for yourself. I know I take a lot of pride in our site. We spent a lot of time and energy and effort on it, and it turned out really well.
It looks good.
But it also has our pictures on it. Mm-hmm. It shows my face. I am live on the Good Rep Media YouTube channel. I am here talking to you about marketing. And I almost led right into it. Hey, if you're new here, this is Lunch with the Boys. We're a small business marketing agency. If you're at all interested in small business marketing services, if you need a website, if you want customers in your door, if that's something that interests you, come join us. We talk every single Tuesday at noon. We also have a website. It's goodrep.media. If you Google Good Rep Media, we are number one. We're all over that front page. It's our site. So go check us out. Let me know what you think. If you go to that page, fill it out the form, I'll be in contact with you. We'll help you with your marketing.
Oh yeah,
that's it. That's my whole spiel.
I'm sitting here trying to like panic, like change this to like say, oh no, I didn't think it was gonna change it live. Cancel. We'll worry about that on the next one. Oh yeah, you won't be able to see it until like maybe like 30 seconds later on the YouTube video, but you're gonna see that.
I'm quickly going to the YouTube channel to see what's happening.
All the text below is gonna like erase and become like www. And I'm like, oh no, I think I just need to like copy and paste in like the goodrep.com or goodrep.media/chat. I was trying to get that to show up at the bottom, but I would have had to type it all in, and nah, we're just gonna get that transitioned on OBS here soon. As soon as I can budget out that Stream Deck.
I'm
never gonna let that one die.
The thing is, I'm probably gonna get myself a Stream Deck, man.
I'm the one running this. I'm the one running it for the business.
For now, until I take it over.
Take it, bro.
You're like, please, I don't want to do this. This is awful. No.
No, it's not
We'll
awful.
look into it.
Now that I've
think
got it all set up, I'm kind of like, I might stream a video game or two from time to time. Like, why not? You know, why not?
Well, you're already here. You've already got it signed up. Do you have a
I already got
YouTube
it signed
channel?
up.
You ready to go?
I have a Twitch. I have a YouTube. I haven't used it since like 2013.
I was like, wait, are you talking about streaming to the Good Rep YouTube channel? You're gonna start streaming some Call of Duty?
If I can do it on the clock, sure. I wouldn't do Call of Duty. I'd be deep in some Arc Raiders and Dispatch right now. All right. Listen,
oh my goodness! I don't think we can put Dispatch on the stream.
Melanie is gearing up to shut this conversation down. But I will say this: I have been having the best time on Arc Raiders recently. The community has like re-sparked like a love for video games that I haven't felt in years. It is pretty crazy. Like, it has been one of the coolest experiences I've had in a long time.
Heck yeah. I think it's going to lose to Clair Obscura 33, but...
Oh, for sure. Like, and it should. I haven't played Clair Obscura, but I know how great Clair Obscura is. So, like...
You haven't played Clair Obscura?
I haven't. I have the file for it. I'm going to play it at some point. But
you have the file for it. We're not going to ask how you got the file for it.
Good old games, dude. They give you the EXEs.
What game?
Good old games. You know, you're not familiar with GOG?
No.
I don't even know if Clair Obscura is on GOG.
Okay, we're on from that topic before Jordan gets raided by...
Yeah. I do have another question for you if you guys are all open to hearing.
Yeah, what's up?
So another thing, kind of based off some of the conversation about like spending money on marketing and then just the marketing tools, how do you think a company recover from overspending on tools they didn't even use, and how can they kind of like find out what would really work for them?
So I think one of the big issues that you're kind of hinting at here, and one of the things that most companies will need to be aware of, is bloat. So what has happened in our company, and what I've seen happen to a lot of different companies, they start with one program that solves a problem, and then someone new comes along and is like, well, I have experience with this other program that solves a similar problem but in a different way, so let's use this program, let's try out this program. And all of a sudden you're having a new person, a new person, a new program, a new person, a new program, a new person, a new program, and you have 6 or 7 different programs that all do similar things. And so you have this bloat of multiple programs, multiple softwares, multiple products that you're paying for that are all really similar. I'm talking about, okay, if you're paying for Ahrefs, SEMrush, and Moz, you're probably doing a little bit much. And for those who aren't in the know, all 3 of those are keyword research related audit based tools. They help you audit and SEO your website. So if you're paying for all 3, that might be a tad much. Now, if you're, you know, a really, really big company and you're working with hundreds and hundreds of clients and they're all SEO based clients, maybe you do have subscriptions to all 3 and they're enterprise subscriptions, because using all 3 of those different subscriptions gives you access to the very unique tools that you need. But if you're a mom and pa with 5 employees at the corner store, you probably don't need all of those tools to succeed, even though the first marketing guy that helped you out told you needed SEMrush, and the second marketing guy that you talked to told you Ahrefs is really good, and then your nephew told you that Moz was all that. You don't need all 3 of them. You need one. And so figure out which one you needed. And so with that, takeaway, audit your software, have someone in charge of it, and have a list of all of it somewhere. You should 100% have a list of all your active software.
Yes. I will also say, in a position like from like a CEO perspective or anything, this is going to be hard to hear advice, but like you're never going to be able to recoup probably 100% of shrink or loss. So like there does come like the mindset of mitigating, of trying to like just take the steps you can to make sure that this issue doesn't happen again, as well as taking the steps to making it have as little impact as possible. We talked about ways of doing that where it's like, okay, these expenses, maybe if like it was an expense done for a client or something that didn't work out, maybe you can then tack it onto the bill. Sometimes you may be able to like in our situation now where like we have some expenses potentially coming up for the streams and everything. we might be able to reduce a little bit of the hit we're going to take on Riverside by reducing it down to one studio now, because now we only need it to be the credit influencer. We don't need it to be the credit influencer, Joey Matterhorn, and Good Rep Media. So like all of a sudden, I'm just throwing out numbers. I don't know how much Riverside costs, but like say it was $60 a month to have 3 studios, we may be able to reduce that down to 20. And yeah, we lost money having the plan like through all this error, but it's being mitigated in the long run because now we're saving $40 a month every single month.
Yeah, and I do think that there is, when you get too much into the ROI and investment and blah 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 blah, especially when you're looking at small businesses, because I've heard this from a number of clients where they talk about, oh, I don't want to invest in like my new employees. I don't want to invest in all of this because my new employees, whatever. I don't want to upskill them. Think for massage therapy. I don't want to teach my massage therapist this modality because I don't know how long they'll stay around. I don't know blah, 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 blah. And if I teach them this and they decide to leave, then they can do my modality and blah, blah, blah. It's like they're almost protecting their secrets. I think of it like fantasy alchemists, if you're a huge nerd. Like the Nicholas Flamel would always hide his gold making recipe, stuff like that. It feels very much that way with small businesses. And so when they start expanding and hiring new people, investing in their employees can be seen as, oh no, I'm wasting money, I'm losing money. For example, direct example, yesterday, you spent a lot of your time working on OBS instead of working on client sites or websites or anything like that. Now, is that a loss? Because we upskilled you. Now you know OBS. Now when OBS is going on, if we want to do OBS in the future, you're the guy. You're the reference. We have someone with that knowledge. We have that skill. We have that capability. But it's also, we built up work-life balance, and I think that's really important. And I think keeping employees happy and being happy as an employee is very important. And if you're not investing in your employees, upskilling them, teaching them new things, you're a failure as a business owner. So if you're a small business owner, upskill your employees, teach them how to use new tools, and make sure the tools that they're getting to learn to use are useful and valuable to them. And they'll do good for you.
Yeah. Cody, I've been sitting here while you've been talking, working on trying to set something up for OBS here. I need you to go ahead and plug something for me. Go ahead and tell us how they can talk to you.
Oh, hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Cody Anderson and I help run Good Rep Media. If you are a small business owner, Good Rep Media is the business marketing agency for you. We are a boutique small business marketing agency. We help small businesses rank on Google. We help them get customers in their doors. We help you with your website. We help you with your online reputation. We can help you with your socials. We can help you with your design, your branding, the whole thing. And if that's something that you are interested in talking to me about, if you have questions, if you have concerns, feel free to come schedule a chat with me, Cody. I open free 30-minute chats with any business owners out there who might be interested in, getting some consulting advice on what they're doing. If you want to launch a new program, you're looking at a new point of sale, you want to run a promo for the month of December, you're looking at Facebook ads, schedule a call with me. I can go over it with you and I'll just chat with you about it. It's completely free, completely no contracts. There's no hidden whatever. I'm just a dude. Worth noting, if you comment on this video, I will also reply to that. So if that's interesting to you, I would love to chat with you. I'd love to be able to help you out, and that would be fantastic.
Amazing. I got the link at the bottom of the screen here. Go ahead and follow it, goodrep.media/chat. Schedule a call with Cody.
Yeah, love that for us. Which, hell, man, we help small businesses. We've done it for quite a bit. We've been working on how we do it. And I just like talking to small businesses. I've had the chance to do probably, 10, 20 of these audits. And just being able to chat with some of these people about their websites and what they're doing with their business is always super fascinating. People are creative, man. Yeah. People are doing it out here.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Is that something that you would ever be interested in, do you think?
Running a small business?
Well, running a small business, but I more so meant like going back and forth with small business owners and doing like those fact finding calls, because I know you do that with one of our clients. You're on the calls, but I'm
Yeah.
curious if that's something like you enjoy or if you're like, ugh.
Yes and no. So I think like I'm someone who's really limited by like my ADD. I think means like I have to be interested in it. So like a lawn care company, I probably wouldn't be as interested in. But then like if it was like, you know, like a tech company or something like that, then I would probably be all ears and would love to hear like kind of what they're doing and where they're going. So it's a situational kind of thing.
Hell yeah. I can get that for sure. I'm always curious because I know for me, it's one of the more interesting aspects of the job, especially with some of our clients. I know I brought up the musician earlier, but this is a recent signing and he is, it's interesting. It's been an interesting conversation. So I'm always curious about people who interact with some of the small business clients. And I'm always interested in, I don't know, just how they run their businesses and how they go about making their money. Because as a marketing company, we make our money from our clients and from running ads and all of this. But there's a lot of weird side hustles that these companies and these people do.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Well, I think we're getting to the end here. I want to take
I was going to say, do you have an end screen?
I was about to try and throw it, so I don't have it set up as a scene. So the only thing I can do is just slap it on top of us like immediately. I can't transition to it. So like at the end when like we all go silent, I was just gonna mute the audio and then slap that on, and then next week we will like smoothly transition to it. There'll probably even be some music behind it. It's gonna be clean as hell.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, I'm here for it. For a first run on OBS, I think we did pretty good. For a first run with having Mel in the back as a producer, I think we've done all right. Although I know we've kind of talked over you a couple times, Mel. I think your input has been phenomenal.
I'm going to have to turn her
You're
up
a
a
work
little
in
bit.
progress. We'll get there.
I'm going to have to turn her up a little bit, make her louder than the rest of us.
Like just turn it up like 10 decibels.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But thank you so much for joining us. I do really appreciate it. And
Yeah,
thanks, Jordan, as always. It is a pleasure to have our team here. It's nice being able to get out on camera and create these kind of videos for people and have a chance to hopefully get our faces and our voices out there. Yeah.
All right.
It's been great.
It's been awesome.
If you're interested in hearing from us again, join us next week, next Tuesday at noon for Lunch with the Boys. If you are interested in credit repair, if you have bad credit, if that's something that you are looking at getting fixed, we do have a little shout out for the credit influencer going live today at 6. Do some Googling. If you Google the credit influencer, you might be able to find it. And let me know if you find it.
Yeah.
With that said, thanks, guys. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your night.